Initially, the format of using a blog to record our processes with the preliminary task took a while to get used to, considering that I had never used a blog in this way before. However, further on into the project, when the pre-production took place with the opening sequence, I enjoyed using a blog as a way of expressing the research I had co-founded into other areas within the project, such as exploring across other directors' perception upon social dramas. It also allocated me room to investigate and analyse footage in terms of the cinematography and editing styles of videos I found in a magazine called Hunger, which had quite a heavy influence on my final piece of work. The structure and presentation of my work on the blog has a clear defined layout which complements the research I have allocated to indicate the level of detail influenced by my work. To film the opening sequence, I used a Canon EOS 600D. Although I had previous experience with using this camera, I now have a greater understanding with how the AV levels and exposure complements the final outcome of the raw pieces of footage. Overall, I was extremely pleased with the aesthetics of the raw pieces of footage, and would have felt leaving the footage unedited would look perfectly fine. However, editing the sequence the way in which I did gives a greater indication of the storyline's emotion. Final Cut Express was a great piece of software to use when editing my opening sequence. At the beginning of the editing process, I was going to use the newest version of Final Cut Express, as I had downloaded a 30-free-day trial so I could work on the sequence both at home and school. However, I did not like the format of the newest edition as it functions similarly to iMovie. Also, the new edition did not have the function whereby you could just adjust the blue, green and red levels. Therefore, I decided to edit with the version within school. I now have a greater, in-depth understanding of how to use Final Cut Express with the technical side, such as how to adjust the levels of gamma and hue to experiment with the final appearance. This has enhanced my work as I have gone into more depth with the editing process as opposed to the addition of one filter. Therefore, I have a greater understanding of the technology I used in the process of creating this product.